chief executives of 6 cryptocurrencies. They testified Wednesday for the House Financial Services Committee. This was the CEO of Circle, CEO of FTX, Bitfury, Paxos, Coinbase, and even the CFO of Coinbase, and then of Stellar, the CEO of Stellar. So
they weren't all CEOs, just to make sure.
They were all CEOs, but they also have the CFO of Coinbase. I don't know, Coinbase, well, I think at least it has the CEO and the CFO of Coinbase, which is kind of weird, CEO and CFO of a company that big. But anyway, I thought it was just CFO was somebody different. So you look at top executives, right, and all of them testifying. And I kind of like this because I feel like the government is at least trying to understand this. And if you listen to that, which I know you did, you highlighted like a lot of cool things, right? I mean, there was a lot of really good stuff said in the testimony.
Yeah, I commented on this quickly last week because it was going on when I was doing one of the Wall Street Unplugs for you, Frank. And there was a little bit of grandstanding by both political sides, which is understandable. But I would encourage everybody. You can Google this. The links were free on, or the replays were on YouTube. I'm sure the House Committee or whatever has those as well. But the way these work is you have kind of an intro, and then each representative from those 6 crypto firms you named get a 5-minute opening statement. And then each member of the committee gets five minutes to go back and forth and ask questions to whoever they like. I would tell everybody, if you have some time, go search for that review and listen to the opening statements. You can listen to it, pick up the speed and stuff. But what I thought were, I'll hit on a couple of these things, Frank. The highlights were underbanked, users versus CEOs, and disruption. The political grandstanding was like, hey, we don't want to undermine the U.S. dollar. What's keeping from, they named Meta, formerly known as Facebook, about, hey, if they get this crypto stable coin and these wallets, if people go there versus the U.S. dollar, that's going to be bad for us. These executives were just, you want to talk about some intelligent people building some exciting, neat stuff. Forget the price of cryptos right now. Listen to their opening statements and what they're talking about. Because if you don't walk away from this, and again, I am not the permabull, but I am very bullish on the crypto space in general because of the innovation, money, and people flocking to that industry. And what you'll hear from these executives is they're already talking about, all they want is regulatory clarity here in the U.S. So it's not your, one side is, hey, we don't want any oversight, any rules. We want to be every man for themselves. Mm-hmm. They are basically saying, hey, just like big banks in the United States, your Goldman's, Morgan Stanley's, Bank of America, just like they deal with regulation because they know what that regulation is, just tell us what it is for us and let us work. Let us into the banking system. But the underbanked, they talked about, and NPR from, is it April of this year? Have over 60, April of 2021 this was out, and NPR is talking about the underbanked. There's over 60 million Americans that are underbanked or don't have a bank, Frank. That means that they don't use credit, debit cards as easily as you and I. They don't apply for credit. They don't even use banks to cash checks in many cases. Why? Because they may not have a lot. And then what? Fees and loopholes that you have to jump through to get accounts. So these guys are talking about a global system. Frank, you ought to hear the exchanges. Now, these 6 companies, Coinbase's exchange, FTX's exchange, Circle is a stable coin. Paxos is basically a banking platform and transfer platform. You ought to hear them list the regulations they're licensed with and dealing with all over the globe. So if you go into this thinking, oh, these guys are just shooting from their hip, they're not. It's amazing to see some of the smartest people in the room. And to our credit on the House Service Committee, there was actually a few decent questions in there about how to build this out. What would you like if you were in our shoes? And they just want clarity. And that there's no way you don't come away very bullish, in my opinion, from that.
Yesterday I said, you need to understand crypto. It's a $2 trillion market now. Institutions late to the party, just getting in. This is just the beginning. I think, you have decades and decades. This is where the most innovation is going to come from. I said, start doing your research, take it time. If you're going to do your research, listen to what some of these people said, okay? And it's important because what's wrong with this industry is that it's very difficult to understand for the average person. And, proof of stake, proof of work, all, the technology behind them and, the use of these utility tokens. And they don't do a good job of it because, look, they're not marketing firms, right? So these guys did a great job of breaking it down and understanding who their audience was. They understand that we have Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC, who said that many cryptos and these tokens, they fall under agency's purview and should be registered as securities, right? If they are, that changes the whole landscape of the entire industry. These guys could have to report financials, everything, and that could really, crush some of these names because they're going to have to come off Coinbase. They're going to have to come off all the US exchanges and only be on the Binances and things like that and out there and international exchanges if they do that. So they're trying to say, okay, hey, let's sit down and talk about this and we're going to tell you why. And the descriptions and why this is so massive was done so well. So if you have not really looked at crypto or you just want to start learning about it, go there and listen to some of these things. They're on YouTube. They're on TikTok. There's little snippets. You don't have to watch the whole, I think it was 5 hours of testimony, whatever.
Yeah,
they're going to have the best parts. But man, it was really done well with like, okay, we need to break this down simple. This way they understand that, listen, there's a lot of great companies. Innovation is going to come here. Yes, you need a little bit of regulation on top of it, which I think they're all, believe, right? Because you're seeing still a lot of shady shit in this industry. But it was really fantastic. And I thought that was a big deal for crypto. Again, something that we're big believers in. But I don't know. And I said this. I've been saying this for the last year as we went up tremendously this year, 6,000, and now we're below 50. I don't know where Bitcoin's going to be in the next 3 months or 6 months. I know 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. You're going to see much, much more adoption. It's going to go a lot higher, and you're going to see a lot of the biggest trends in technology develop. And that's why you need to be in this industry, because someone that follows these trends, goes to Consumer Electronics Show every single year. I've never seen this much innovation since the 1990s. And the internet and everybody just finding out, what's the best ways to play this. Remember, Amazon was like, oh, we could sell books, right? That was the original plan for Amazon. And look where they are now. Netflix too, when it came to, using the mail, right? To send their DVDs through the mail. And then they're like, well, we could stream this thing. It's amazing to see all the innovation that came. But now when you're looking at crypto, this is where the innovation is. It's that exciting. And, it's one of the places where you can see enormous returns that you really can't get in the stock market anymore, which is evident just by looking at a crypto intelligence portfolio. So really exciting stuff, Daniel.